Hello and welcome to another edition of Workforce Water Cooler. I'm Leslie. Joining me, as always, we have Brian and John. We're all excited to be here, and today we will be talking about what we are reading. The material we're reading may not directly relate to workforce, but I guarantee that we will find a connection within this material that does relate to workforce, because that's the kind of people we are. So starting off, John, what are you reading?
Okay, so the most recent thing I've read, actually just last night, Forbes just published an article about our community last Friday. It's the title of the article is How Visitors to Bowling Green, Kentucky Can Help Community Still Recovering from Deadly Tornadoes. So really good article.
Hang on, and you did say Forbes, because that's a big deal.
Yes. Yeah. It's
okay.
So really good article, just talking about kind of our recovery efforts and the impact on the community and how people can get involved. And it kind of wraps up with, other things that you can do when you're here. So not only can you help, but it talks about, some of the touristy things you can do. And it really talks about kind of the spirit of the community coming together to try to resolve, just doing that hard hands-on work of recovering from a disaster. So it's really, really well done.
So we can include a link to that article in
Sure. Yeah.
in the description in the YouTube, whatever I can figure out how to do that. So how would this article apply to workforce?
Well, interestingly enough, I mean, we've been one of the things that we've been very involved in. You might say we've been kind of leading the effort is we have a workforce participation work group made up of community leaders that meets every few weeks, and one of the folks in that work group is actually a lady named Sherry that's from the Bowling Green Visitor and Convention Bureau, and so. We've been trying, so in the CVB for short, they've been doing some amazing work, and they've, so we've had lots of conversations. How do we leverage the fact that there are so many attractions here, and how do you leverage those attractions to tell people about what a wonderful community this is, what a wonderful quality of life that we've got, and the wonderful job opportunities that we've got. So that's part of what they've been doing, but another part of what they've been doing is help coordinating national articles and national publications to come in and look at this community. And so they've kind of led an effort to invite magazines like Forbes to come in and get on the ground, show them around, and write articles. And so this is in fact one of these articles that was, you could trace it back to the Bowling Green Convention and Visitor Bureau, reaching out to national publications and ask them to come in and look at our community and then, write what they see about it. So, and that traces back to our workforce participation work group and our effort as a workforce board to help fill the talent needs of our region.
Absolutely. The more people know about Bowling Green and the surrounding region, I feel like we have so much to offer to people. So people looking to relocate, these articles are a huge help in helping them figure out, where to go. So very good.
Yeah, I think we want people that visit here to have a good time and say, I'll be back when they after they leave. And so if we can kind of scoop them back up and get them to kind of come back and visit again, or perhaps consider relocating here, would be awesome.
Very good. Very good. Brian, what about you? What are you reading?
Well, besides Moon Living Digest, which, heavily influences where I'm thinking about living in the future. I admittedly, I have not read as many books in recent years. I did a lot of that in my 20s, and then when I was getting my master's at WKU, I had to read a lot of articles and stuff. So I kind of, I guess, burned myself out. So I mostly do my reading on my phone, scrolling and getting articles. Um,
And
so
most people do that these days.
yeah, so like, when you were asking as far as getting prepped for this, what are you reading? I'm like, I just read random stuff that shows up on my feed or my news app is kind of my to go. But I tell you what, I really key in on. Besides what J-Lo's up to, I always got to keep up with J-Lo. Now, listen, I hate how that,
Roller derby.
yeah, I don't, I try not to keep up with, celebrity, stuff. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I don't think that's news. I admittedly try to read stuff about TV shows or movies, like predictions, like Star Wars. I'm always up to trying to figure out what's the next thing that's happening, so I'll read a lot of those things. Um, and then I like, kind of similar to what John just mentioned. I like reading things when I see them about the economy and just kind of how things are going, like, just what kind of predictions might be coming up as far as the next wave of something, or are we getting ready to hit some kind of bubble, or are more people going to be able to work from home? Is that around to stay, or are employers forcing people to come back now, or more people going to get into the workforce, or are we going to see less? Like I deal with it. It's in my headspace, obviously, here every day. I like reading things that just kind of gives that perspective way outside of here. So, and then normally I'm reading, if it's like bookish things, like it's kind of more faith-based things or theological kind of stuff. So I guess as I was thinking, all three of those have in common is predictions about the future. Maybe I just want to live in the future faster and know that stuff, or go back to the future. So.
Well, and I think anticipating what is going to be happening is a huge part of what we do as a workforce board. We're trying to figure out what will the jobs of the future be.
Yeah.
And not just, so we're thinking, and it may not be 20 years from now. I mean, it may be the jobs of in the next 3 months. So like with CDL training, we're constantly trying to look at not only current needs but anticipate future needs. So I think that definitely is a component of what we do and what we need to do.
Yeah.
What I'm reading, I'm reading an actual book, and I'm a book person. I just can't get. I read stuff on my phone, just like you mentioned, all the time. But when it comes to a big work, I have to have a book. Here's my book. It is called the Mr. Rogers Effect.
The artist did a terrible job drawing his face on the cover.
Yes,
Man.
yes.
Who is that? Max Headroom? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's sort of like, that Billy Idol song, Eyes Without a Face. This is face without eyes. But yeah, I guess it's sort of supposed to be artsy, but Mr. Rogers is one of my heroes, as I think you all are well aware. Right there with Prince. And you might say, hey, what does Prince have to do with Mr. Rogers? Prince's middle name was Rogers. Did you know that? Prince Rogers Nelson. So I guess Rogers are my thing. I don't know.
Where does the symbol come in?
I don't think there's a symbol for Mr. Rogers. Maybe a cardigan could be, if he had ever changed his name, I think his symbol would have been a cardigan sweater.
No, I think John's asking, where does Rogers show up in his symbol, in the Prince's symbol? Is there an R?
No. Just, it's technically known as the love symbol. Just so you know. So again, and Mr. Rogers was all about love. So this book it's been a good read. And I mentioned to John the other day, I'm reading this book, and one of the things, it's sort of like the 7 habits. It's similar to that. It's the 7 secrets of like how Mr. Rogers um, listened to people and interacted with people and all that. And right now, my big takeaway is I am a horrible listener. I thought I was okay, but reading this book, I'm like, man, I have a ways to go. So I wanted to read you all a couple things, and I'm maybe halfway through with this, but it is a really good book. Okay, this is from the chapter on listening, and here's a key takeaway. And just listen to this sentence. For some people, being heard is the miracle they need. I mean, seriously, that really resonated with me because we interact with so many people, and so many people who haven't been able to tell their stories, as to why they are having problems getting back into the workforce. And sometimes being heard, having someone to listen to them. Wow. So that sentence just, knocked me for a loop. So this book has made me made me feel bad about my listening skills, but also has inspired me to be a better listener. And I'm just halfway through. So I do think it relates to workforce. I'm excited about finishing the book, and I'll give you all a report. But it's sort of like I guess my takeaway is it's sort of like a mixtape where you put all your favorite things together in one package. I'm going to come away with here are my key takeaways from this book. But that sentence is probably going to be at the top.
Yeah,
Because I feel like that's an essential part of what we're doing.
yeah.
All right.
I like it. That's profound, Leslie. You always take us in a profound direction.
Sometimes, yes, sometimes. But we'll include links. Brian, I don't know how we'll include your links, but maybe if there's a cool article on Star Trek you'd like to share, we can
Oh,
do.
you weren't listening, Leslie. You weren't. Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars.
Maybe
See how bad I am. See how much help. Mr. Rogers, help me.
Mr. Rogers talked to puppets, and there are puppets in Star Wars, so I can thread the needle on that, too. So
maybe Brian can share the blog that he writes on Sunday evenings about his theories on,
about when the aliens are coming. I'm interested in finding out that too before everybody else. Yeah.
That would be good. Yeah. Brian's thoughts on the future. That would be, deep thoughts by Brian Becker.
And I could see like VHS quality, for that segment if I do it.
Yes.
It'd be like some kind of found footage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's our next show right there.
There you go.
And I think,
we'll film it inside a planetarium.
Yeah, and throw in some max headroom effects and some neon. You could wear neon clothes and we could do a black light. Wow. That would be awesome.
Little Menudo playing in the background.
Oh, jeez.
Menudo.
That's obscure.
That you get bonus points.
Nothing says sci-fi like Menudo.
Should we share why we're laughing?
Yes.
Yeah, we decided going into today's segment that we would try to work in some 80s references. So if you were listening and paying attention, you might have heard a few throughout today's water cooler.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe with editing, I could highlight when those references take place.
Totally.
Oh, nice. Nice. All right. Well, very, very good discussion, guys. I know we've got a lot going on. So I will not keep you any longer, but thank you for sharing what you're reading, your thoughts on how, and I mean, I think for all of us, even if we're reading something obscure, everything relates back to what we're doing. Because
Are you trying to judge us, Leslie?
Do what?
Obscure. Where's that word come from? Are you trying to judge us?
No, well, something that on the surface seems unrelated. Maybe that's a better way. Maybe that's a better way
To workforce. I got you. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
I know that is at the forefront of our brains constantly. Yes. So we're always finding connections and finding ways to connect those things. So very good. Very good. All right. Well,
you can change shoes now, Leslie. We've reached the segment where you can switch out your sneakers. You're getting ready to leave the house.
I can switch out my sneakers. Yep. I can take off my cardigan and put my other jacket back on. Symbolically. All right. Thanks, guys. Nice work as always, and I will catch you later.
Radical.
Right. Nice.
All right, join us next time for Workforce Water Cooler. We'll talk about workforce, and we will try to keep you engaged and on your feet and entertained somewhat as best we can do.
Yep. Never say die.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.